No, we are.
Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Why So Serious, the podcast. Thank you to everyone that's joined us. I am Josh, aka Cronin. I'm here with Zach, aka Abstract66, and our faithful buddy David.
AKA, you have no game.
Of course, because you don't.
Oh, burn.
You have no game. How are
You
you
have
guys
no
doing?
game, Josh.
Doing good, man. Doing good. How are you guys doing?
I found out I have
Business
the
as usual.
most game.
You
Boro.
never have game, Josh. Only if you play shops.
Poor shops.
The kind of game I play.
Well, that's exactly what we came from. We all met together earlier today, as you'll be able to find us on most Sundays, and we were streaming the Vintage Daily. And yeah, definitely, it was a lot of fun. Josh will go through it with you in a second when we go over Vintage, but that's what we've been doing today. And generally, we've been doing a lot of streaming, right, guys?
It's been a
And
lot of streams.
yeah, on the weekends, on Fridays, for sure. I have no idea how much you stream during the weekdays because I cannot stay up that long, but yeah.
Well, we've been doing a fair amount then too, but yeah, absolutely, it's been a lot of fun. And in that vein, we've been doing a lot of vintage. And like I said, we did one today. What did you play, Josh?
I played the old Staxy Boys, playing some workshops, and we ended up going 4-0, locking people down.
Just some old Forge Master stacks, or
Oh, yep, the old Forge Master played against the Smokestack version in the finals there, and that was a little bit scarier. He locked us down in game 2.
but we locked him down in game 1 and 3.
Yeah, game two was kind of scary because we were like, all right, well, we got some golems. He's got some factories that looks bad, and then all of a sudden he dropped the crucible followed by the smokestack followed by the crucible, and it's pretty brutal.
It was bad news from then on. But yeah, it all worked out. And surprisingly, only one Stacks mirror, but I did pull off the coveted Game 1 win against Dredge in round 1.
Yeah, I mean, you got to figure the day is going to be pretty good when it starts out like that because that's exactly what you want to do. Why don't you walk them through the hand that kind of like got you there?
I think we went Wasteland on his Bazaar first, and we were able to play Thorn,
Right,
keep him
and
off some stuff, and then ended up going for a Forge Master into a Wormcoil engine.
yeah, that's usually pretty good. You follow that up with a metamorph, and in the meantime, fortuitously, he really didn't get that much dredgers on the few activations of the Bazaar he had. I think he just used
But he had double Bazaar actually, because I think we had Strip
strip
and
line
Waste.
and a waste. Yeah, exactly. It was really crazy because the second one, finally, when he started to get some serious action, we had the worm coil off the Forge Master. I think we even sacked the Forge Master himself, left the Thorn, and top decked the Metamorph. Is that correct? No,
Yeah,
you did a Factory, a Revoker, and a Mox.
right. Yep. And then we drew the Metamorph the same turn we Wormcoiled.
Yeah, so it's hard to do. I mean, it was pretty damn lucky because he had the multiple bridges in his graveyard at that point. He had 3 creatures on the board, and we just, I mean, it was really lucky to draw that Kuldotha Forge Master when we did because that was the difference between winning and losing. It's not easy to get your guys in the graveyard otherwise.
Better
Right.
be lucky than good, right?
Yeah, exact stacks, man. What's your hand? All right, keep it.
Definitely. So I guess we can jump right into taking a look at a couple of other decks that are in the metagame right now. Look at some metagame results.
Yeah, it looks like Workshops has shifted back to its rightful place as the top deck on the ladder, right? I mean, we're looking at Workshop pretty much in control.
For
Well,
sure.
I think it's the same as last week. Workshop in first place. You still have to add the Terra Nova that's separated from the Workshop and the Vintage metagame for whatever reason on Goldfish. The weird
Right.
algorithm, yeah, classifies it as a totally different deck, but of course it is not. So it's more like Shops has 22% of the metagame share,
What
Yeah,
about
just
about
just
Oath?
the winning decks.
about a quarter.
Oath is doing well, but you have to again, there's a bug regarding the deck lists. A lot of mentor decks are classified as Wubber,
Oh,
so
Wubber.
WUBR, yeah, and mentor control, which are 13 or 14% of the metagame. So it's still way more than Oath. But Oath is right now in fourth place, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they used to call it one of the pillars of the vintage format, so there it is.
Bringing up the rear is Old Storm, pretty much. Only
Yeah.
2% of the people willing to play that list.
I mean,
But
the thing that's most shocking to me by far is where Dredge is at on this list. I feel like, like I always say, this is a recurring theme with me. If you play it, you'll probably do well if you know how to play the deck. I don't care who you play against. Like we were talking about, even today, we had to get super lucky. It's almost like something that we talk about to beat them in game one. That's how strong the deck is.
yeah, but generally there's not much of a change compared to the last weeks, and I don't foresee a change over the next few weeks until maybe some restrictions happen with the Magic Origins. But
Right.
that's pretty much it, right? I mean, otherwise, I think the metagame will stay the same. Maybe Dever and Mentor and Shops will change places or percentages, but that's it.
Yeah. No, I can totally see that. I mean, Vintage is a pretty static format, at least until a new set comes out, something that's really game changing, like a new Phyrexia or something like that. But you don't see that very often.
Or a mentor being printed.
Yeah, but even Mentor, it took a long time. Mentor was a joke for the first few months.
Yeah, and it's not all that different anyways from
Yeah, it's still not
Pyromancer.
that
It's just a
different.
better Pyromancer.
A better, harder to cast Pyromancer.
Yeah.
Yep. More powerful.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Another thing that we were going to take a look at as we move forward is right now, we as a bunch of boys have all been playing a lot of modern. Or when I say modern, Modern Masters Limited. Definitely a
Little
big,
different.
a little bit different, but it kind of segues us into the Modern Masters and that event and kind of why it's so important and what's going on. Right now, we're having the Modern Master Festival, right?
Yeah, it's started for some things. Is everything started?
Well, I think it's just that they replaced the modern dailies with these modern festival prelims.
Oh, so these are played a lot, just
Yeah,
in
these
place
are
of all of them.
these are played a lot, and I think they have higher entry than usual tournaments or regular tournaments.
Yeah, they cost. I can tell you here for single elimination. Well,
Six tickets?
they've got the regular 3-2
No,
1s.
no, that's a queue. That's a queue. That's a
That's a
just a
queue.
queue that you pay
The
60.
preliminaries are 10 tickets.
Yeah, it's 10 tickets and only 5 and 4 wins get something.
Yeah,
Plus you have to play one more round then in regular daily.
That's pretty crazy. 11 boosters in Modern Masters. It's like it's like $75.
Yep.
it's a lot of wins though.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think in constructed formats it's easier to do than it is in limited. I mean, once you know your deck, you know.
But everyone will be playing to try and get to the Modern Festival Finals.
Yeah, as you can see, first place gets one copy of every Modern Legal set, and a Premium Modern Masters set, and a Premium Modern Masters 2015 edition set.
I mean, that's
Wow.
insane.
Yeah, that's super insane. One copy of every Modern Legal set? How many thousand tickets are that?
A lot.
Dude. Wow.
Plus
Wow.
35 QP, so you're qualified for the MOX.
That's unbelievable. That's I want to try for that now.
Because the second place prize is more what we've come to expect from like a Mox. The top
Right.
Mox spot, the Premium Modern Masters set and the Modern Masters set.
Yeah, that's just like a couple of hundred tickets
That's
compared
a
to first place. The difference is so huge.
I
that's
know.
an amazing difference. I mean, just
Plus
knowing
the
all the
auto
cards,
35 QPs, the
like the batter skulls that are mixed in there, and is Future Sight? Future Sight's totally modern legal, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
of
of
course.
just
course.
everything, just all these sets. That's
Yeah.
insane. I
What,
can't
what,
even
I,
think of how much value is in that.
what I like is that you get the modern legal sets, but you also get all the cards that are banned in modern. So you still get Jace and Deathrite Shaman, and
And
you know,
Liliana, I mean, oh
it's
my
just like, yeah,
god.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a big prize. You should win
and
it.
it's a. I like how they even listen the modern legal sets at the top, at the bottom. 8th edition, 9th edition, 10th edition Magic, 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,
dude,
Mirrodin, Darkstream, Pip Dawn, Champions of Kamigawa, Betrayers, Saviors,
World Way.
Ravnica, Guildpick, Ascension, Cold Step, Time Spiral, including the bonus cards.
Dude,
Planar
even
Arcane,
stuff like Infernal Tutor.
yeah,
Of course.
Dude, this is really cool. That's the coolest prize I think I've ever seen on this.
Now, of course, if you lose the event completely, you do get the alternate art Eternal Witness. So you're still making out
yay,
like a bandit.
That'll be worth like 50 cents.
yeah, that's worth nothing.
So that's interesting. I think these events are really cool. What are you guys thinking about Modern Masters Limited in general? Are you enjoying it?
Of course, there are a couple of different archetypes, even though it already starts to get a bit stale, and it's still going on for 2 more weeks, which I think will make the prices even more deflated than they are right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like. I feel like Modern Masters 1, I could easily go back and be excited to play again.
Yeah, what I don't like about Modern Masters 2015 edition is that the black-white archetype is just not Rebels. I like Rebels, and
Poor David.
yeah,
You
now we
can't
get
play. You can't
stupid
play
spirits,
Rebels
which are,
without
yeah,
Mask
spirits are
Swap.
just not on the same level.
Oh, dude, I had a spirits deck the other day. That was yesterday. That was on the same level. Trust me. Ask Josh.
Just one though.
That was ridiculous.
Definitely a good one, as
I
far
mean,
as terrible decks go.
yeah. The problem with spirits though is just like rebels. It's the same problem, dude. If more than one person's in it, it just gets significantly weaker. That's just that's how the archetypes work. You have to pick the right one.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works. When I saw the pick 5 go high, I was like, nah, all right. So
Probably a good plan.
yeah,
Or go high.
but it's I think the format's really exciting. I've played it a lot. I think my favorite deck, and I think probably the best deck on there, is probably black green tokens. Believe it or not, I think that one is the easiest and the most consistent because it has the best mana and it has just a bunch of cards that no one can deal with. At the same time, there's some other archetypes that are really good. I've seen good decks that are red-white. I've seen good decks that are blue-green, and decks that just aren't, the ones that you think about. So I've liked it a lot. The one thing that I can say, I have a pretty high winning percentage in the format, but my opening percentage, I was thinking about it. I must open one good card like every 5 drafts. It's really low. Yesterday I did like 5 drafts. I didn't open anything all day. I really can't think of one card that I opened. That's insane.
Yeah.
When the packs are that much.
I mean, I did one draft and opened a Vendilion Click, but
Well,
I'm a professional.
You're a
you
real
know.
professional, yeah.
Well, it's definitely been fun. I mean, the one thing that we're seeing from that, though, and this is kind of across the board, is the prices are deflating. Part of the reason I think we all can agree every time there are big events like this, everybody sells everything to get tickets, right?
Yeah, plus everyone drafts like crazy and opens a lot of cards and has to sell them to draft more.
Right, exactly. So it's kind of like the double jeopardy because all the bots, all their tickets are kind of on low supply. They have like a bunch and abundant copies of all the cards that are worth any amount of money, not to mention the previous versions of all the cards that are coming out in the set, because you have all the people who hear that something's being released, and they're like, all right, well, now I can sell my Opals, now I can sell my Vendilion Clicks, now I can sell my Tarmogoyfs, now I can sell my Bobs, now I can sell my Cryptics, and you have all these cards that are going back. I think it's pretty interesting what we're seeing just across the board. What are some of the cards that you guys have noticed or really just taken a dive individually that surprised you maybe?
Hmm. Well, definitely the Cryptic Command, which used to be like 20 tickets and is down to 8 now.
I mean, that was in Modern Masters 1, and it was still at like 15 tickets at Rare, right? I mean, it's pretty
It was
surprising.
dude, it was 20 tickets before they announced another reprint. Also, Bitter Blossom. I think Bitter Blossom was 25?
Yeah.
Between 20 and 25, I think. And now it's down to 7. And also, of course, the Eldrazi have fallen really, really hard. I think Willamog used to be like 10 tickets or something. Now it's down to 1.
Yeah, and you're lucky if you can get one. It's usually penny.
Also, cards like Wilted Leech used to be 10 tickets or something.
Yeah, we have a funny story about that. Who was it? Was that Evil Mono?
Oh yeah, he sold his Shadowmoor Wilt Leafs and just picked up some brand new ones for about a tenth of the price.
Yeah. I think he sold one normal Wilt Leaf Liege, got a full playset and 2 tickets. Because it was $4 for the normal and 50 cents each for the new one. So he's like, all right, deal.
Just to illustrate that kind of thing, though, that card, like a month ago, was worth 20 tickets.
No.
Wow.
And the other card that has tanked really hard is Honest Dust, which went from 7 or 8 tickets down to 25 cents.
All is dust, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think at the same time you have the VMA cards, which completely got destroyed. Like, they're so destroyed. I'm a little bit in shock still that none of them have rebounded at all. Aren't you guys?
None of them. Really?
Not one. None.
That's so funny. Plateau is still like $1.50.
Well,
Tolarian Academy is not even worth a backer. The Library of Alexandria is not even worth a back. Oath of Druids is still like...
Oh, well, yeah, none of those cards are coming back. None of those are ever coming back.
Do you guys remember when Imperial Tutor was like 30, 40 tickets?
Oh.
Now it's like 30, 40 cents.
That was the first
It
card.
was $150 in foil.
Dude, that was the first card I ripped in Modern Masters Draft as a foil, and I was so pumped. I'm like, whoo! Flexing. I was flexing my muscles. I was so excited, and I looked it up, and that day it was like $6.50, and I was like, what? This is like day one. It was like $6.50, and I was like, why? Why? No! I was so happy to pick it.
So as of October 1st, which is when you and I really started looking at this stuff, Zach, Power was $94 for a Recall, $215 for a Lotus, $54 for an Emerald, $84 for a Jet, $50 for a Pearl, $65 for a Ruby, $110 for a Sapphire, and $70 for a Time Walk.
Wow.
Good old days.
You know what? Time Twister was over 30.
And now you can get a Pearl for $19.
I'm surprised Time Twister is still 6.5.
Did you hear that? Anybody who doesn't play online? You can get a Mox Pearl for under $20.
$19.99.
That's insane. Like I'm like almost pitching as a spokesman here for WotC, dude. That's unbelievable.
And they can't get rid of these cards. I'm looking at like MTGO Traders has 23 of them in stock.
Somebody's eventually just gonna buy them all.
Yeah, but then WotC will just reprint them all. I don't know if people are really into the hoarding of
I don't think
online cards anymore.
Into the hoarding of online vintage cards, which, there's not that many people playing vintage. I mean, lately you guys struggle to fire it right?
Yeah, no, we 2 days we struggled to fire today, and last night we didn't fire. I think it was, but But I also tend to agree with Josh a little bit in that this is a thing that's cyclical. We even saw it last summer when Vintage came out. The events weren't firing, and we were all like, "What? What?"
Yeah, they fired for a few weeks and then they stopped firing for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were all like really pissed, and it was the middle of summer, and I remember because I was yelling at everybody like, "What? What?" But now I look at it and I'm like, there's two factors in play right now, and to get it as close as we've been getting at saying something, it's summer, and there's a Modern Masters huge event going on right now, and like me personally, I love playing that set, like just because like I'm trying to rebuild my collection a little bit through drafting, and this, which I'm not having a good luck with because I can't open anything, but at least it's fun. It's like one of those things. It's almost like the little lotto scratchers, and the problem with Vintage is it's kind of grindy, man. You play a lot of Delver, Mentor, and Stacks. You're just going to play a lot. And then when you don't, you get lucky enough to play against Dredge or Oath. It's like, sometimes it hurts. And at least Modern Masters Draft, sometimes you just get complete doctors who are in there because they have a lot of money and want to open packs and don't even really care about winning with the plays they make,
Definitely.
Vintage is grindy, just as a format.
Well, we should say, speaking of prices, if you are someone that's looking to get into Vintage play, we're doing a giveaway of a foil emerald and a foil LED.
A Lion's Eye Diamond, yep.
And you have to be a subscriber on YouTube and Twitter and Twitch, and we're going to do an Instagram. We're going to do drawings once we go over 100.
Yep, we're going to draw. We're going to assign one card to one social media platform and one to another, and we're going to do a random drawing of all followers in each platform. So really, it's an easy way to come up on some foil power or a foil LED. Neither of which is anything to shake a stick at. So
definitely
get in there.
That takes us into David's gonna talk about a little bit of some rumblings in a different Eternal format, some Legacy Brainstorm talk here, David.
Yeah, just like I already pointed out last week, there's quite the discussion in Legacy about whether Brainstorm is still essential for the format and actually useful, and whether it restricts decks or not. I mean, yeah, Brainstorm has a couple of things going for it. It's probably the best tool available to reduce variance. I'm sure both of you guys can agree with that, and that you enjoy casting Brainstorm.
Oh, for sure.
That's one of the big things I miss about Classic, is having the 4 Brainstorms.
Yeah, I mean, Brainstorm always scales a bit by the format, because without shuffle effects, it of course loses a lot of power. But nowadays, it's so easy to have access to a lot of shuffle effects in every deck.
Right. And it scales with singletons being played. You think of how consistent some of those decks were in Classic with all their singletons and still being able to play 4 Brainstorms.
Yeah, that's the thing, that blue decks and Legacy are just way more consistent than any other kind of decks. I mean,
well, I'll tell you right now, that deck that I did really well with, the Channel Bam Oath deck, would be nothing without 4 Brainstorms. That deck would be 0 without 4 Brainstorms. Straight up.
Yeah, well, I guess that's true, or pretty much true for a lot of Legacy decks, like these White Brews that are essentially 2 or 3 card combos. They probably wouldn't work without Brainstorm, and also one of the Tier 1 decks in Miracles. I'm sure it might work without Brainstorm, but without Brainstorm, it has hard times to get all the Terminus and Treat back into its deck, right?
Yeah, trying to put them back.
Yeah, it would lose a lot of its power, and it would also have a harder time to find the countertop combo.
I think it would make the deck just a lot slower in general, because it would make a way larger emphasis on playing more Jace or getting Jace out.
You couldn't also just respond by playing Brainstorm and manipulate the top cards of your deck to activate your counterbalance. It would make the deck quite weaker, and then people just talk about whether combo decks wouldn't be that much weakened, like Storm. Sure, Storm wouldn't have 4 Brainstorm anymore, but they still have like infinite upper cantrips. Worst case, they could start playing stuff like Serum Visions or Thought Scour if they would be really desperate.
Let me float this out there. I just kind of want to understand why is this the card that we're talking about as far as like restricting or anything else? Why doesn't anyone ever float the idea of maybe a mental misstep? Why is that so bad in the format? If this is making blue decks better, why not give non-blue decks a card that makes them better?
Well, actually, that's why they printed Mental Misstep, or that's what they hoped it would do, that it would give non-blue decks an answer to all these one-mana cards.
Just made
But,
blue even better.
Yeah, but it led to blue being just, only color being played. I remember the Mental Misstep era very well when Legacy was pretty much reduced to blue-white Stoneforge decks, some cool rack decks with the Noble Hierarch and Natural Order, Bug Control, with Standstill and Mental Misstep, of course, Merfolk, and the Show and Tell combo deck, Hive Mind. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
nothing else at this point was competitive. I mean, people couldn't even play Storm.
Yeah, well, I can see why that would happen. I remember when Misstep was really popular, one of the funniest things that I thought was just hilarious was the Reanimator deck became super tier 1.
Yeah, well,
that's true.
Actually we are in quite a similar situation right now because at least according to the Magic Online metagame, more than 80% of the decks are running Brainstorm.
Yeah. Well,
That's
I don't blame them.
crazy. That's a crazy statistic, though.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And I mean, yeah, it's a card that pretty much keeps the format together and everyone can play it, but still, it's really strong and, it forces people to play blue. I mean, of course, people like us don't have a problem with that, but a lot of people that really think like color identity and stuff like that. And
What about, okay, well, give me a number, and I know we can't pull this up right now. We probably could for the next show, and I might even look into doing that, but what percentage of decks in the vintage metagame by numbers do you think play Force of Will? Maybe it's not 80, but I bet you it's like 65 plus.
Well, first, you could also talk about that in Legacy, and I think having a card like Force of Will in the format is perfectly fine, so you can have actual combo decks, like combo decks that could just go off on turn 1.
Yeah, I think that would make the format terrible.
Without a card like Force of Will, you'd have to ban all these combo cards, and it would be really hard to. And I think
would just play stacks.
Yeah, and Vintage is similar. I mean, Vintage is pretty much configured to, okay, blue is just the best color. We cannot do anything against that. So we allow people to play workshops and bazaars, and hope that's somehow enough.
And it was today.
You play blue, or you play workshops, or you play bazaars. I mean, sometimes people try wild brews like this white-red deck, white-red humans, or 5-color humans, or whatever. But we all know that these decks are just not that competitive.
Well, I'm really excited, or if this even happens again, but I'm really excited for the day when Wizards goes back to the new Phyrexia formula and tries to think outside the box and play some really interesting things that we don't normally see in Magic, because I think that's what makes the game the most fun, and maybe that's why I play Vintage, but I love strange interactions that you're not expecting,
Well, I think they did it, and they were pretty careful about it. They did it with Delve, and they were really careful with what they did, but still, they freaking...
Yeah, people also talk about,
they
banning...
made Dig, they made, yeah.
Huh?
Treasure Cruise and Dig.
Treasure Cruise and Dig. They already had to restrict Treasure Cruise. Like they
tried. People are already talking about restricting Dig as well.
Yep.
Banning it in Legacy.
Yeah. Tasigur.
Yep.
I mean, that's a real card.
These dev creatures helped them in Modern a lot. Like they spawned a couple of new archetypes with the 5/5 and Tasigur, of course.
Right. Well, I'm kind of interested to see the way that they go with the next few blocks. What is the next block they're going to be doing? Is it Worldwake?
Yeah, the next block is another Zendikar block.
So Zendikar, what was that? Is that Landfall?
Yeah.
Landfall's
Landfall and fetch lands and Who
They
knows?
could do some cool stuff with Landfall. What was the other mechanics in that? It was they had really cheaply costed spells. That was the Nature's Claims, the Spell Pierce. It was,
Yeah, they just had generally good cards.
and then
I'm not sure if that was a theme, but yeah.
what was the counter thing? Was it multi-kicker?
Yeah, they had kicker and multi-kicker.
Yeah, they had some pretty cool mechanics. I mean, if I remember correctly, Worldwake Zendikar was the aggressively cast block. That was when David was at his 2-drop and best, right?
Yeah.
You had to play fast in that format.
Yeah. 1 and 2 drops.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that then, because usually when you get an aggressively costed format with kind of cool effects like that, you never know what you're going to see. That's where we saw Jace, baby. That's where we saw the cool manlands, the second generation of manlands, the really good fetch lands. I'm excited, dude.
And never forget about the third part of the block with the Eldrazi.
Yeah. Well,
I think of the new age blocks, since the first Mirrodin. I like Zendikar the most.
As long as they don't accidentally print a fetch land that can fetch workshop.
No, they would never do that. They would rather just print another Lodestone
Search
Golem.
for a non-basic land.
Don't forget, Birdbag also brought us Lodestone Golem. So.
Well, David, I was saying last night that one of the cool things that they haven't done yet that they should do is do a artifact land Karoo. So it produces 2 colorless. It's an artifact land, and you can return a land or artifact to your hand.
Oh God.
I told him that would be
super
ridiculous. It would be good in every deck, though, because you could just play a Mox and then play.
Yeah, it would be amazing.
Well, talking about modern sets, there is also a modern GP going on right now, or it actually just finished like 5 minutes ago. And I think Twin was triumphant again. It probably beat Elves in the finals. It appears that the Elves player forgot to list a card in his deck, or on his deck list, and yeah, it looks like he got a game loss. I'm still waiting for some better results, but
Yeah,
it was,
WotC's site went down a little bit, but
yeah, the WotC side went down for a little bit, but it's back up now, and with a pretty interesting top 8 with a lot of unusual decks, but a Glorious Vengeance deck, in which you reanimate Grizzlebrand and draw a lot of cards, or you reanimate Emrakul and just slap for 15 and your opponent loses his board. It can do some cool tricks and some Ad Nauseam deck. It's not like the Storm decks in Legacy. It's more about playing Angel's Grace with Rex and Unlife, so you cannot die, and draw your deck, and then you play an X spell, where you can just discard your cards. And to be fair, if your opponent has a certain amount of life, like I think it cannot deal more than 60 or 80 damage or something. So there's definitely a way to beat this deck, even if you do not attack it.
So Michael Malone beat Wesley C. What are the top 8 decks? The ones.
Yeah, the top 8 decks were the 2 decks I already mentioned, and also Burn, Elves, 2 Twin decks.
So it was
an
blue-red
Epson deck, and it was an Epson Collected Company deck and an Affinity deck.
So Twin beat Elves in the finals then.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Wow, these are some really, really interesting.
Well, and actually, it seems to be the. Wait, 1 second. No, the Elves deck beat Twin, actually.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was reading too. I was wondering if I was just reading it wrong.
I'm sorry, dude. I didn't refresh the page.
No worries. So yeah, wow. So Elves took it down with a. I love Thragtusk. There's not a lot of cards I like more than Thragtusk. That's for Burn, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Cool deck, man. Court of Calling and Collected Company. Collected Company making a real splash, dude.
Yeah. It took a couple of weeks for it to break through, but now it's there.
Yeah. Ad Nauseam, like you were talking about, Abzan Company. I mean, this is a really varied metagame. Like
Yeah,
none
it's
of
not it's not like Vintage where you have like 2 or 3 decks in the top 8.
2 blue-red twin lists. Wow. Yeah. So that's definitely kind of the tier 1. That sounds to me like the Delver of the format, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
Also regarding Modern, I've got a funny find, my funny find of the week on the internet, and it's just one line that I want to read out. I found it on Channel Fireball with browsing articles this week, and yeah, it says Zach Witten just missed the top 8 of the Invitational this week and did a great record in the Modern portion. Poor Zach Witten, but of course he's spelled totally different.
Huh.
What the heck?
Weird.
Yeah, dude, you have an imposter.
Wow, somebody wants to be me.
That doesn't surprise me.
It's obviously not me, though, because he didn't win.
It's obviously not you. I'm not sure. I mean, he played Grixis control deck in Modern. That sounds extremely Zacky. You know, with Dark and Shackles, a lot of counter spells, card manipulation, call against command, Tasigur, Gourmet Angler. I'm sure you would like all of these cards.
Yeah, sounds good. It sounds like something I'd play, but yeah, it's definitely not me.
Or maybe it is.
Hmm.
The
Well, I tell
alternate
you.
life.
That is something that I plan on doing, is going out to a shop. I haven't been to one since the mid-'90s, and kind of getting some of that footage and seeing what's going on in the paper world. Hopefully we'll get some of that. Yeah. Other than that, one of the other things we've been looking at doing was, like I said, we've been active on our channel, and we want to get everybody involved. And we were kind of wondering what games you guys were wanting to see when it's not in Magic time. We were talking about, Josh, tell us about the game you found.
Oh yeah, we were going to try out Ark. Is it Survival Evolved?
I think that was it.
Playing a little of that. Seems like people enjoy streaming it as well. So any possibilities that people have that they'd like to see us play, we can definitely, during our casual between Magic time, play something else.
Absolutely. That's what we're here for. Any other games you guys want to see? I mean, if it's something like, Minecraft, if it's something like a shoot-'em-up game, we're really kind of open to suggestions. We like Heroes and Generals, but sadly we found that the deck is just not very popular on Streamington. So, yeah, we're looking for other suggestions.
Definitely.
I think we should also mention again, before we leave, about our giveaway we're doing. We're doing a foiled Mox Emerald and a foiled Lion's Eye Diamond. And again, all you have to do is follow us. I recommend following us on all 4 platforms you need to be to win. We are on Twitter. We are on Instagram, both under WSS Podcast. You can find our Twitch at twitch.tv/WSS Podcast. We're really active there. We're there a lot. Last but not least, you can find us right here on YouTube. So when you finish watching this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and give us a subscription. And we'll keep you up to date on everything going on in the vintage world, in the limited world, hopefully in the modern world coming up soon. I'm going to have a deck built. And, yeah, really appreciate you guys tuning in today.
Definitely. We'll be back next week. I think this is the time slot if you want to chat live. That's hopefully what we're going to be doing with the show, basically after the Sunday Vintage Daily.
Absolutely. You can
So
hit us up on Twitter, on the WSS Podcast. Send us questions, and we'll make sure to get back to you real time. We love to kind of hear that, and keeps us on our toes a little bit. I feel bad. Josh just did that to make me feel terrible because I was going to do it this show, but I feel bad. I apologize.
Yeah, keep following on our stream and also ask us questions there and follow us.
And be nice to David.
And be nice to Josh. Not.
Thank you. Oh.
All right.
All right. Have a
We'll
good
see
one,
you
guys.
guys next week. Bye-bye.
Yeah, see you.